Todo might be my favorite character in Jujutsu Kaisen, and that's really saying a lot because there's so many likable characters in Jujutsu Kaisen. Like, one of the show's most impressive aspects to me is that it can reveal a new character for the first time and manage to make them likable after like 1 minute. But Todo is one of the characters that I wasn't too crazy about when he first got introduced, or at least not as crazy about him as I am now. A lot of people call Todo a silly, kind of a goofy character, and while he might be the reason for a lot of silly and comedic moments, in none of these moments is he actually trying to be funny, but rather the opposite. In every line of dialogue he has, he's always serious and always says what he has on his mind, regardless of how that might be received by others. And Fushiguro quickly finds this out when he can't even answer a simple fucking question. When watching the scene for the first time, like I said, I didn't really love Todo yet. It almost seemed like he was being built up to be like a rival type character who I was supposed to dislike, along with Maki, but this quickly changed during the Kyoto exchange event. This is the first time we see him take on the role of Yuji's big brother, and at first it's kind of hilarious.
My best friend.
But again, Todo is being dead serious and quickly starts teaching Yuji, making him improve in ways that he never had before. This is a good way to make the audience appreciate his character more by having him teach our main character various things and make him stronger. I mean, Todo teaches Yuji more in the span of like 30 minutes than Gojo had done the entire season up to that point. During this, we also get introduced to one of the best parts of his character: Boogie Woogie. Todo's ability is just so fucking cool, alright? Like, there's no other way to say it, it's just cool. All the best moments and fights involving Todo is when he uses his ability. And what I love about it is how many different ways he can use it. He can switch places with people, objects, switch places by high-fiving someone, by clapping his cheeks. There are just so many different possibilities with this ability. To me, a good ability or power is one where the character keeps using the power in new and different ways. This is why Luffy from One Piece almost always has a new way to use the Gum Gum Fruit, which is a power that is really basic. But through Luffy's creativity, he can use it to do everything from a pistol, bazooka, UFO, or even turning himself into a balloon. Even the most simple attack like the Kamehameha was used in a new way during Dragon Ball Super when Goku uses it to slide on a different ki blast, something we had never seen him do before. That's why that was so cool. And this is also almost 40 years after the technique first got showed off, and it's still being used in new ways. One of my favorite moments from the Mahito fight is when Todo switches places with Yuji by clapping Mahito's hand, because we had never seen him clap his opponent's hand before. Of course, this moment is also great because it involves a lot of risk having to come in contact with Mahito, but that's besides the point. This fight is also the moment where Todo completely just won me over to his side, and it all starts when Yuji is at his lowest. This is the hardest pull-up of all time. Bro is actually in an edit. And this is when Todo has to give Yuji a pep talk, just like every big brother should, telling Yuji to fight for what his fallen comrades entrusted with him, regardless of how weak his conviction might be right now. And what follows is one of, if not the best fight in the series so far. It really seems like the animators love Todo because the direction during his scenes are incredible. His personality and charisma is incredible, managing to be silly and goofy, but also serious at the same time. I mean, they give him a whole music video in the middle of an episode. Like, what? Even after he lost his arm, and by extension his ability, beaten to the ground, he still gets up to save Yuji, allowing him to secure the dub. And while I don't really like that Yuji doesn't secure the dub himself by his own merits, I still really love this moment from Todo, accepting what he lost, but still fighting, just like he told Yuji to. Todo is absolutely a man of his word, and like I said, always says what he means. He said that him and Yuji were best friends, and I think if you were to ask Yuji at the end of the second season who his best friend was, I genuinely think he would have said Todo. At least he should say Todo anyway. I mean, he was there for him at his lowest moment and has done more for him than any other character could. I think it can be easy to misunderstand Todo at first when he's going around asking people what type of woman is their type, but I think he's way smarter than he seems.
IQ53 万の
I think the point of asking people this question is not for him to know what the other person responds, but rather how they respond. Kind of like a test. And I believe this mostly because of a character that Todo is very fond of himself, Yuki Tsukumo. This is who Todo learned the question from, and we get to see firsthand how she asks the question to other people, mainly Geto. She asks Geto this question along with a bunch of other questions to get to know more about what Geto is thinking and who exactly he is. When Todo asks it to Fushiguro, Fushiguro gives an answer that isn't really an answer at all, but rather answers it in a very roundabout way, revealing absolutely nothing. In other words, he is trying to avoid the question. This, of course, Todo doesn't like and proceeds to beat the shit out of him. But when he asks this to Yuji, Yuji gives an honest answer by saying he likes big booty bitches. This, of course, makes Todo take a liking to Yuji. Not because he likes big booty bitches, but I mean, of course, that is very valid in itself, but because he answers straightforward and honestly. So to sum it up, this question is used for different reasons. Number one, it gives the audience a chance to learn what type of person the character that gets asked the question really are. Number two, to give Todo a way to learn whether or not the person is someone he likes or not as soon as he meets them. And three, because it's really fucking funny. A supporting character, in the easiest way explained, is supposed to help the main character achieve their goal, have a transformation, or move the story forward. And Todo Aoi does all of the above. And looking back, you know, I probably should have realized that he was the best character after he said he liked girls with fat asses, but yeah, I guess that's my fault. And where I thought he shined the most was during the Shibuya arc, which is also my favorite Jujutsu Kaisen arc by far, so make sure to check out this video to hear why.